Here's a little review of this. I believe it's a PQY brand. Boost reference fuel pressure regulator. Now, I've had these Chinese knockoff ones on a couple different cars. There's a few things that you got to do to them. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. But the reason that I chose this one over the other ones is because it actually has the O-ring boss fitting to a Dash 8. That's what I'll be running on this car. That's what I've run on most of my cars is Dash 8 because I like E85. So I run Dash 8. Most of the other ones of this are a Dash 6, and Dash 6 is just too small for what I'm doing. So this one, it wasn't the cheapest there is. Most of these are pretty much all identically the same. Got different logo on them, but they're about the same thing. This one was not the cheapest one, but it had the Dash 8 fittings already in it, so that saves me a couple of bucks. Not a lot. Those fittings aren't that expensive, but they're $3 or $4 a piece. Now, this, it looks fine. It's oil filled and all that. The last one was not this brand, but it was a knockoff product, just the same. The last one I had stuck. I thought I still had fuel pressure, and my fuel pressure had been diminishing because of a bad fuel pump. Now I still have it somewhere in my junk pile here. Oh, there it is. You can see we got 54 psi of air pressure apparently. Don't know. Anyway, that's not off of this particular one. I'm hoping this gauge lasts a bit better. We'll see. I don't really trust the gauges as much, but I guess I know what to look for now. Anyway, so I'm going to take this apart really quick. I'll show you what you need to do to make these better. So anytime you get any of this knockoff product, some of the stuff is pretty good, some of the stuff is not very good. This particular style of regulator I've used in a couple of fairly high horsepower applications, and they work really good if you do a couple of things. Now, first thing you want to do with any of this Chinese stuff is take it all apart, check it. There's oftentimes going to be sharp edges you're going to want to take care of. There's going to be things that are loose. Now, saying that, I've got 3 tight screws. This one, just that loose. So that's the quality control that you're not paying for, and just in real life is just not there. And that's take a little bit of time, give these a little bit of massaging. Usually they work pretty good. I've got currently one of these on a twin turbo Dodge Magnum. It's just my street car. It's about 600 horse right now. It's not much for a V8 car. Last one I had was on it was about a 650 horse DSM 2 liter on E85. That thing flowed a bit of fuel, and never had a problem with that regulator at all. I did on that one particular car, I changed the gauge out with a true aeromotive gauge. Actually, I put a gauge in a diaphragm in that one just as precaution. My Magnum, it's just the way it was out of the box, other than what I'm showing you right here. So a big spring, cup in there, pretty simple. This one actually looks pretty decent so far. Over here's where you're going to see the mess of things, if there is anything. Actually looks pretty decent. A little spot of metal there that got caught in there, probably from the threads. Alright. So, now what you're going to want to do is, it's probably hard to see it because of the anodizing. I'm trying to flip it around on a bunch of views here so you can see it, but you got these sharp edges from the machining. They just didn't deburr them. It'd be nice if they would have deburred these, because now that you deburr it, it's going to take the anodizing off, but whatever, it is what it is. So I'm going to go in here with a grinder, deburr these edges, and I'm going to enlarge this hole. When you're running big fuel pumps, you need a little bit more flow than that. It's a pretty small hole. So as you can see, it's basically an 1/8 inch hole for a return hole. You've got your ball size that seals it. It's a 1/4 inch ball. So you can't go bigger than that 1/4 inch, but you can sneak up pretty close up to that and create a lot of flow. I think I usually go to about 3/16, a little bit below 3/16, somewhere right around 3/16, I should say. And that mostly wipes out. It wipes out the majority of this seat that's in here, and then I just take a countersink and put a new seat in. You can see the boss there is 350, so if you take it up to even if you went all the way up to 200 thousandths, you'd have about a 75 thousandths thick wall, which is pretty decent. I'm going to use my drill press to do this, but just because it's a little bit easier. But if you don't have a drill press, you don't really need one. It's already got a hole passed through it, so whatever drill bit you're going to use is just going to follow along the path that's already there. Now you can pretty clearly see a much larger hole there. Now it's mostly wiped out that seat, but that's not a big deal. All that is a countersink. If you don't have a countersink, you can just use a steep pitch drill bit. I have countersinks, so I will use countersink. Now you don't want to take this countersink too far down, because the farther you take that, the farther that ball's got to travel down, and eventually it'll be too far for the diaphragm to go, and you'll have problems with that. Alright, just a very slight bevel. That's all you need. Just needs to seal. So from here, I'm just going to take my little deburr tool and go through and deburr some of these sharp edges in it, which will also kind of help the flow. It's in areas that you really don't need extra flow, but if one of those chunks were to break off and get into your fuel system, it turns into a big deal. You get clogged stuff, crap in your tank. This stuff will suck right through your fuel pump socks and into your fuel pump. Just not a good thing. So, as you can see, I just went up to 3/16, 188. And the ball still sits down on there nice. It'll seal well and flow enough. One of these will, with that opened up, it'll outflow a Walbro 450, flowing full pressure 58 psi. It'll outflow that and hold your pressure okay. My other car that I had one of these on, I was running dual 255s on it, and it held it just fine too. So just as an added tip here, thought of this while I was putting this together. Anytime you're messing around with stuff like this that's stainless going into aluminum, it's a really good idea to just lube your threads. I've had problems with this stuff. It'll tear up the aluminum. The aluminum's so soft, and I don't really think that it's got anything to do with it being a knockoff or anything. It's just the stainless going into aluminum. It just it's a good idea to use a little bit of lube anytime you're playing around with AN fittings or any of that stuff. A little bit of WD-40 or just anything really to lube it. There's probably special lubricants for it. Whatever, WD-40 seems to work fine. You can see these are turning nice and easy. Another added thing here, if you're running even just, I think, a single 450, the factory hole in these keeps up just fine. I think anything beyond a single 450, like if you do twin 450s or something like that, you're gonna need to open that hole up. I just do it as basically as a precaution, because I know you can do it. I know they work well that way. I know it's going to bypass enough fuel. I think Matt from Sloppy tested these. I think it was the same exact one. It might have. I think it was the same brand, but it was the same type of regulator. He tested it with a single 450 at 58 psi, and it controlled his fuel pressure just fine. So this isn't something that you have to do if you buy one of these and you're just running a moderate fuel system. I'm going to be running much more than a moderate system. I will be running at least twin 450s on my car. So therefore I just started off with opening that passage up. Well, I thought I was done with this, but I noticed something when I got ready to put this gauge in. This is a funny thing. You can see this. See how far that goes in before it actually catches? It gets tight, but it's about done as far as that. I'm hoping it doesn't leak. We'll see. So I grabbed my bad gauge from a previous thing, and I fit it. Well, that's the same thing. Okay. So just out of curiosity's sake, I went through my bin of stuff and grabbed something else that's 1/8 inch NPT. Look at that. So those gauges are very very small on the thread diameter. This starts to get tight almost immediately, and those gauges don't. I won't run with the gauge permanently anyway. I'll just be doing it for setting and testing and stuff like that, and then I'll take it out and put a plug in it anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's just something I thought I should mention.